What's up, everybody? It's Man of Low Moral Fiber here. My name's Luke, and in this video we're going to be taking another look at the Bearcat as a part of my Does It Suck series. The Bearcat is a Pearlescent rarity Dahl assault rifle, and like many other weapons it received a significant boost as a part of the community patch, which is why we're taking another look at it. We're going to be starting here with the unpatched version of the weapon, and this weapon definitely needed a boost, so I'm excited to see how it performs, because without the patch applied, I truly believe the Bearcat to be one of the worst unique weapons in the game. The versions of the Bearcat that we'll be looking at today all have the Dahl grip, and I have a few different accessories for us to look at. The first, which is my favorite accessory, is going to be the deep prefix, giving it a higher fire rate and faster moving bullets. We can see here that they move across this room pretty quickly and bounce way over here when they come back. Obviously, when shooting this weapon, it has 3 little grenades that bounce off walls and eventually explode. They also explode when they get close enough to an enemy. Now, the base damage accessory is going to be called the attack prefix, and you can see it does indeed have a higher base damage than the deep version, but even though the fire rate's slower, the main difference to me here is that the rounds move a lot slower, and because of that, they are much more affected by the arcing projectile path that these projectiles take. And so I don't especially find that the base damage is, easy or effective to use in comparison to the fire rate version, where the bullets move a lot faster, the grenades move a lot faster, and they're much less affected by the arcing projectile path. So a lot easier to aim with the fire rate version, so that's why I went with that. There is a third accessory here, which is the feral prefix, and that combines the base damage accessory and the fire rate accessory, but it comes at the cost of accuracy. And so if we look at this one here, the bullets are moving just as fast, but they spread out super duper wide compared to just the fire rate version. So that's why we're going to be using the fire rate version, because I think it gives this weapon its best chance, which it definitely needs because there are a lot of other crappy things about this weapon. First and foremost, it does not get grenade damage boost, and we'll take a look at that in Sanctuary, where we can kind of prove that a little bit easier here in just a second. But also you can see that with a magazine size of 39, we only really get effectively 7 shots, because each shot is taking 6 ammo. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then you're out of ammo, and you have to reload. Obviously, reloading all the time lowers a weapon's DPS significantly, and this weapon can chew through its magazine very, very quickly if you use aim down sights. The Dahl special effect when aiming down sights gives this a 3-round burst when you have a Dahl grip. Anywho, let's take a look at how it does here on this junk loader. We're not going to use slag or the turret to start here. We're just going to try to use this particular weapon to kill him. I don't know how easily we'll be able to do that. Doesn't look like we're having a good time with it. He's about to kill us if he gets another shot on us. Yep. And I don't think we'll be able to get a second wind with this weapon, especially if he walks behind that railing. So we can try, but it's not going to work out too well for us. So I'm going to go ahead, quit out here, and we're going to slag him this time. Use the turret and see if we're able to kill him in the unpatched version of the game. Then we'll apply the patch and see, the difference that it makes. But obviously we are almost out of ammo, so I'm going to purchase ammo real quick, because I'd imagine we're going to need way more than 1 magazine to kill this guy. So we'll purchase enough ammo to kill him, hopefully, and we'll try to kill him by using turret. That'll get this guy slagged. Perfect. So now you can see that the turret's dealing some damage, but we are actually able to kill him with the Battlefront bonus and the turret out for us. So that's good there, but it's still a very, very weak weapon. You can get kills with it, but so could anything else when you have the turret sitting right above him and you're shooting at him. Anywho, let's go ahead and go to Sanctuary real quick so that we can prove that the gun is not getting grenade damage bonuses. We'll do that before applying the community patch so that we can look at how the grenade damage bonuses have increased the damage when we get back, or after we apply the patch. So I'm going to run down here to the testing dummy real quick. We're going to get 1 shot on this enemy. I guess I should take off this class mod. We'll take off that class mod real quick, and then we'll run down here and shoot this enemy. So we're going to shoot at him here, and we can see that we're getting 183 damage a shot. We're using corrosive damage, but what we're looking for here is just the damage number. We could use a fire version and get more damage. I know that some people like to see the fire version on a fire test dummy, so we'll use that real quick. 385. And then we'll apply the expert grenadier comm and see if that damage goes up at all. So this should give us significantly more grenade damage. I think everyone can agree that those look like grenades. Let's see if we still get 385. Still getting 385. So this weapon does not receive grenade damage buffs, which is very, very unfortunate, very, very counterintuitive, and it makes the weapon not benefit from some of Axton's best skills as much as it could, like Steady and Battlefront, and probably some others as well. So just because of that, this weapon has been really, really sucky. I'm going to wait to buy ammo until we apply the patch, because then we can buy it all at once. Now, in addition to the buffs that the weapon is going to get, I think it gets a new skin as well, because I've seen it in the loading screens, and I think I've also got it to drop from a Tubby Bones. So that's a huge improvement right away, because before it was just using the standard purple rarity skin for Dahls, which a Pearlescent should have its own skin, I feel like. So cool that it got a reskin there, and then the patch notes also say that its damage has been increased by 100%, so this one's now up to over 500,000 damage per grenade, which is pretty cool. And it also says that the fire rate has been increased by 40%, so we can see that there. And it also deals grenade damage now, so we're going to be taking a look at that. I guess we'll start without the grenadier comm on, and then we'll apply the grenadier comm to see if the damage goes up. We'll use the fire one here again, just because it's a flesh enemy. 744k there now. So we'll switch on over to actually using an expert grenadier comm. And now it's dealing 1201. So huge bonus there that it can actually get grenade damage buffs now. And obviously the fire rate and damage has been increased as well. As we go through Washburn Refinery, I'm going to be using a legendary grenadier comm because it's a little bit better and it's available in the community patch. I don't need a Rolling Thunder for this, so we're going to use... I guess I probably don't have a Slago negative on this character. I'll just use a regular Slag Transfusion. Why not? Alright, we're going to stock up on ammo real quick. Excellent. I love how you can fill the ammo with one-click buys in the community patch. And we're going to go to the Washburn Refinery and see if we're able to kill this enemy. Or... yeah, the first enemy we'll kill without slag just to prove that he, can be killed, and then we're going to kill a bunch of enemies. I'm kind of excited about it. I haven't used this weapon yet. I'm a little bit happy because it's another weapon that's potentially viable on Axton. I like Axton. We're going to find out if it's viable real quick. Right away, I think that it is going to be viable just because I saw those numbers on the testing dummy, so we'll see how it does. Starting here on this guy without slag. Yeah, so you can see right away that now this weapon, even without slag, is actually able to kill some enemies. Let's reset the room here, apply the turret and slag to him, and see how much better it does still. So I'm pretty excited. This weapon is, and obviously I haven't used it yet, is going to be a lot better because of the patches it got with the, or the buffs it got with the community patch. And there are a couple indirect buffs that benefit this as well. For example, the ammo stores or ammo drops for assault rifle actually give you more assault rifle ammo back when you pick up those now. So that's pretty huge there. Get my turret back here in just a second, but you can see that even on those guys, without the turret there, it wrecked them pretty good. I like that the fire rate now with the burst fire is very, very quick. That makes it pretty easy to get multiple rounds on an enemy there, and that's good stuff. Might as well slag this dude. I got plenty of grenades. We can be pretty liberal with our slag transfusions. Excellent. Throw one there. Perfect. Yeah, this weapon is now pretty beastly. Obviously, I haven't tested the efficiency of all assault rifles here in the community patch. Obviously, all assault rifles did have their critical hit damage penalty removed, which is good, but obviously it doesn't help the Bearcat that much because I don't think it can crit. Could be wrong on that, though. Let's see if we can get some arcing projectiles on this guy here. Little bit difficult to aim still because of the arcing projectiles, but, not a huge deal. Badass enemy here in the first room. We're going to see another badass enemy in just a second. We'll have our turret for this one. I'm not going to get ammo from the boxes just yet because I do want to see you know, how quickly this thing is using ammo. Well, that guy wasn't slagged right away, but he still died very, very quickly. So I'm thinking that this weapon is pretty badass now. I wouldn't say it's overpowered or anything. It's still a weapon that requires you to be fairly close to an enemy. This guy's kind of far away. Let's see if we can kill him. Yeah, we can land some rounds on him. So not that bad. Obviously, it's not as effective at range as some other weapons, but it can still be used, probably only if you have this fire rate version of it, though. If we were using just the damage version of it, I think we'd be in a little bit more trouble as far as trying to hit enemies that are far away. Go ahead and get Battlefront active, kill both of these guys real quick, and then we'll work on the exploders as well. I'm not sure if I like hip firing this weapon better or if I actually like aiming down sights with it. Hip firing, it's pretty badass. You can fire it real quickly that way, too, so I'm not sure. Either way is pretty good. Maybe I should have spec'd into overload, which I think actually boost all magazine types now here as a part of the community patch. So maybe we should have spec'd into overload just a little bit so that we could get, you know, maybe one or two more, you know, sets of grenades per magazine. I'm not sure. Have to test that out a little bit later. Right now, though, it's not that bad. We're doing okay. Cool. Get this guy slagged, hopefully. Now, this weapon can't knock exploders over because it can't crit, so that's one drawback of the weapon, but kind of to be expected. Cool. Now, that's cool when you one burst a hot loader. I like that. One burst a gun loader almost. Not bad. Let's go ahead and get a turret in here for this guy. If I can get through here, we'll be good. Perfect. So you can one mag a super badass loader when you have the turret out and he is slagged and you're getting most of the rounds on the enemies. So that's pretty cool there. This guy has a shield, so a little bit tougher to take him out while his shield's up, but now that his shield's down, hopefully he'll die. Perfect. Just using the slag grenades mainly for slag there instead of health. But obviously if I get damaged, they'll heal me up as well. So that's pretty cool there when you one burst a gun loader because he was slagged and you got all 9 grenades to hit on him. That's pretty neat. Cool. So this weapon definitely no longer sucks. This might be the most drastic change that I've looked at yet. I mean, this took a weapon that was absolutely ass tier and took it to something that's both fun and, you know, viable. It's pretty cool. I like it. Get rid of this guy as well if he eventually gets slagged for us. Perfect. This guy might die without slag, and he did. It's not bad at all. Let's hit this guy at range here. Perfect. Get rid of that one as well. Okay, so you can see that this is a perfectly viable weapon now. It definitely no longer sucks. But when you read the patch notes alone, even if they didn't make it deal grenade damage, buff the damage by 100% and the fire rate by 40%, at least that's what the patch notes say. I'm not entirely sure if that's 100% accurate. I didn't specifically remember the numbers before we could, you know, remember them and then calculate them out to make sure that's entirely accurate, but I don't think that's necessary. Just the fact that it gets grenade damage boost alone might have been enough to make it somewhat viable beforehand, but since they also gave it some other boosts as well, this thing is a beast. I mean, it is absolutely wrecking dudes at the moment, so good stuff there. You could definitely use this in some other scenarios. I wonder if a shock version would be any good for stalkers. I'm not entirely certain. I didn't bring a shock version in with us today. I do think that the fire rate version is definitely going to be by far the best version of it, though, just because the base damage version moves so slowly, and the version that has both damage and fire rate spreads out way too far to use at any sort of effective range. So we are getting pretty low on ammo now. I'm going to open this up. Hopefully that gets us a little bit of ammo. It did not, so no worries there. We'll try this one instead. Cool, got some more ammo. And now we're going through. So if you were picking up ammo boxes along the way, even using this weapon pretty rapid fire like I was, you should be okay. big arc to hit this guy up here. I'm trying to see if we can do it, though. Looks like it's possible, even though he's a long ways away. Cool. So speaking of a long ways away, that guy's a really long ways away. Let's go ahead and try to get him slagged. We have our turret bonuses now. Maybe we can kill him if we're shooting at him here. Oh my gosh. So we'll finish him off like this. Hopefully the turret's still out when Hurley comes about. This would be where it'd be really nice to have a shock one, but we're going to go through Hurley's shield with the corrosive element and see if we're able to do that. Being that this weapon's pretty potent now, I think we are going to be able to get through his shield even though we're not using a shock element. We'll see about it. Hopefully our turret's still up for at least a little bit. Try to get some transfusion trails there. Bad news there. I killed myself very, very quickly. Let's see if we can get a second wind. Keep him slag there with that slag grenade. Oh, I wonder what we got a second wind off of. Did we get a second wind off of a barrel? Interesting. I'll let myself go in to fight for my life a second time just because I'm interested to see if we kill a barrel if we get a second wind. I'm not sure. Maybe his shield. So it does look like a barrel gives you a second wind. That's an interesting deal there. I hadn't seen that before. So, huh. The weapon's not so strong that you can just stand in front of a mini boss and let him shoot you and hope not to die, but it's still fairly strong, you know? Perhaps I should have saved my turret specifically for Hurley so that he could be distracted about it and we could have shot him like that, but it's alright. We did okay. There's a couple more enemies here. We'll kill both of them and then, you know, we'll look at the weapon one more time, but I think it's pretty safe to say now that this weapon does not suck. This is a very effective weapon at this point. It's probably not the best option for all characters, but at least on Axton, who has grenade damage boost, you can make it very, very effective. I'm sure there's glitches on Salvador that you could do to make this weapon very, very potent as well, because Salvador is basically a walking glitch, and you could probably do that before the community patch. I don't know. I haven't tried it. What I will tell you, though, is with the community patch, the Bearcat definitely no longer sucks. The Bearcat is a pretty potent weapon. It's not the strongest weapon in the game. It's not the easiest weapon to use either, just because of the arcing projectiles. I do think you pretty much need this accessory to make it worth it, because some other accessories, like, you know, this one here, just spread out way too far. And if we're using the version that doesn't boost projectile speed at all, I think those projectiles just go way too slowly, and you're not going to be able to engage most of the enemies that you find very safely at all. So if you have the fire rate version, I would say that this weapon definitely doesn't suck. I mean, it's very, very powerful when you are up close to an enemy, and it can also be used to kind of take out some enemies at range as well. The bouncing projectiles are a little bit weird. I have no idea what Gearbox was thinking when they made this weapon not have grenade damage. These are obviously grenades to me. It seems so counterintuitive that the unpatched version of the Bearcat would not have grenade damage boost. It seems ridiculous to me. But as always, guys, I thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Props to the guy who made the skin for this weapon. When I first saw it in a loading screen, I was like, whoa. Thing looks badass. And so, you know, they made it very unique here. They kept the numbers on the side of it, which is cool. There's obviously still some camo in it here. It's kind of like an orange and blackish camo, but it's very, very cool. You know, they kept the Dahl camo skin and made it unique at the same time, which I think a pearlescent weapon deserves. This weapon's definitely cool enough to be a pearlescent weapon before, whereas before the Bearcat was a huge letdown. Obviously, if you had never found a Bearcat before and you got a pearlescent weapon, you were probably going to be pretty hyped up if you didn't already have a negative connotation associated with the Bearcat, you know, from seeing it online or something like that. And then when you would actually use the Bearcat, I can only imagine how disappointing that was for some other people, because it was very disappointing for me, and I'm not even a huge assault rifle fan or anything. So, you know, if Axton was my favorite character and assault rifles were my favorite type of weapon in this game, it would have been even more disappointing. So I'm hugely stoked about the Bearcat's benefits. Obviously, the guys who did the community patch did a wonderful job on it, adding tons of more playtime to the game, making more weapons viable, and fixing weapons that were obviously inherently broken, like the Bearcat was, not getting grenade damage. So, as always, guys, I thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you haven't yet taken the time to subscribe, please do so. Otherwise, I hope to catch you next time. Bye, guys.